So today's video is talking about building a project with what you have. So recently at my North Texas woodworkers meeting, one of the fellows had these scraps of hard maple. Not very big, about 14 inches by 7. And I have this piece of walnut. You can see it's not very long, about 50 inches. So I said, what can I build out of this? And I said, probably a stool. So I'm going to take this 1.5 inches, cut it in half with my bandsaw, make the legs out of this with through tendons on the legs. So let's see how it works out. So before I get started, I needed to build a little model sample of what exactly this stool would look like. So I dreamed up this circle and cut some sample legs and figured out I had 3 legs and I needed some way in the middle to attach them. So I devised this little triangle piece right in the middle. Boom, there it is. So the first step was to grab my maple and saw it in half to make 2 pieces out of it so I could get a seat that'd be approximately 14 inches across diameter for the circle. Now I'm just cleaning up the edges, preparing to be able to join these 2 pieces to make the seat. So I'm making dowel joinery for my seat bottom and drilling a couple dowel holes. And you can see I got a bunch of holes going in. I only got a couple of straight ones, so I only used those 2 when I actually did the glue up. So after the seat, I'm prepared to cut the legs. So I get my piece of walnut out and I rip a couple pieces for the leg and get those all cut and prepared to move on to that. And so I have a 10-degree angle on these legs, both on the bottom and on the top. So I cut both of those. I'm going to mark out my circle. So this is my compass. So just drill a little nail hole through this. And I start it in the back of my shelf here, of my board. And I'm just going to make a circle here. All the way around. So now I'm cutting out my circle on my bandsaw. I'm just cutting off little slivers of it to get it close to the line. So after I get everything cut out, I'll take it to the sander and sand to the line to be able to get it nice and round and good enough to look like a stool seat. Now we're cutting the little notches on the legs because these will fit underneath the stool for the support. Then I move on to cut the reciprocal notches into the seat bottom. So I have these little grooves that are the same width as my legs, and I just notch them out and slowly whittle away till we get this maple all carved out so it'll be nice and smooth. So I got that done 3 times and pretty easy to do. So here we are. I've got the maple top cut with the through, not necessarily tendons, but elbows. And so the next step for our piece is to build these bottom piece of the legs that will be connected in the middle down here with a little triangle chunk of wood. So we got to figure out the length of those, so we'll measure that and work on that next. So in the center where these 3 feet are going to meet, I'm going to have a little triangle thing. So I took 4 pieces of the walnut, about 4 inches long, and made a little triangle piece. Just cut it on my bandsaw. So now all I'm going to do is sand off this end to get it flush. And then we'll have the center piece and be able to drill holes into this. And we'll trim some of these corners so it won't be quite severe. This allowed the 3 legs to join together. we go. One leg fit. We're going to end up making a little arch in here in the bottom, so we'll cut off some of that, but that's looking good. There we go. So after I glued my two pieces of the leg together, I cut the arch in the bottom of the leg for a little design feature. So to put together my little triangle stool, I have to measure the distance from the edge of the rim straight down. Well, here, let me just show you what I did. So I put my top down and I marked the outside edges of the circle. Then I measured the center, or determine what the exact center was. Then from each edge of the cuts for the legs, I measured what the distance was from the outside edge to the direct center, and I got 6 5/8, 6 5/8, and 6 5/8, give or take an eighth. So I knew that the top edge to there was going to be 6 5/8. My triangle is 1 inch from center to the edge, so 5 5/8 should be the length of the arms. So I cut my arms to 5 5/8. Now we're going to see if those will fit. So here we go. So instead of cutting off 3/4, I cut off a 1/2 inch just to make sure. While I still have a little bit of tightening up for these top legs, I think that'll tighten it up, but you can see that this is looking pretty good. All right, here's the glue up. We got 3 clamps on top, 3 clamps on bottom. Well, here's the final product. Very proud of this. It's a shop stool. Well, it's not perfect. It's perfect for the shop. So I hope you enjoyed our video on the triangle stool. Want to see more of our videos? Consider subscribing down below. If you liked our shop stool, be sure and give me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. And as usual, come back and see me real soon.